The member for Pascoe Vale.
Deputy Speaker, with the couple of minutes or less that I have left, I'm absolutely proud to be standing up in support of this motion as a member of a Victorian Labor government that stands with our multicultural community, that stands to support social cohesion, and that is here with all of our cultural and linguistically diverse communities right across this state. But I'm even more proud to stand here as the member for Pascoe Vale, Coburg and Brunswick West. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been there? Probably not. But as one of the most multicultural communities in this country, Speaker, and as the son of Italian migrant parents who came here with nothing but a suitcase on their back that was filled with dreams for a better future for themselves, their children, their grandchildren, who worked hard to contribute and to give a better life to their children, their grandchildren and to their community too. And I'm proud to be here as someone standing with our First Nations community. Here as a government, we support the apology, we support treaty, voice and truth, whereas the opposition come in this place, they come to the smoking ceremony at the front, they come in here and oppose the apology, and then they go for lunch in Queen's Hall and take the sandwiches. Deputy Speaker, they've got no shame at all. They've got no shame. Thank you, Speaker. Yes, I rise, and I'm very happy to rise again to speak on in support of our multicultural communities. Again, as I was saying, as someone who is from a multicultural community myself, my parents proudly migrated here from Italy. My mum came in 1968 on the ship called the Galileo Galilei, and my dad came a couple of years later on a ship called the Angelina Lauro, and they were originally born in southern Italy in a little town called Nicastro and Pianopoli, and growing up at a time just after the end of the Second World War, Speaker, there was very little opportunity to no opportunity for a future. And my mum tells the story really retrospectively where she heard these echoes from Australia that really were echoes from then Prime Minister Ben Chifley and Immigration Minister Arthur Corwell, which was the call for Australia to populate or perish. And they answered those calls by coming to Australia, like so many migrants of that generation from Italian, Greek, Lebanese, Turkish and Maltese heritage. They came here. And the Irish, of course, too, which my mother-in-law came from County Tyrone as well, and my father-in-law from Cyprus as well. But they came here with nothing but a suitcase on their back, Speaker, a suitcase that was filled with dreams for a better future for themselves, their children, their grandchildren. And they bought they actually, when they first got off the station pier, they became Mary Beck locals for life. My parents first rented a home in Edward Street in East Brunswick, just off Lygon Street, before renting in Vincent Street in Coburg, before buying the family home in Jamison Street, West Coburg, the very humble and still very humble California bungalow my mum's in. For $30,000, my mum tells me, back in 1977, and she moved in the day that Elvis Presley died. She consistently reminds us, so she remembers the anniversary as the day she moved into the house. But that's the house that we grew up in, me and my brothers and my sister as well. We went to the local primary school at Coburg West with many other people from multicultural backgrounds, and my brother and sister went to Coburg High at the time before it was closed by the Kennett government in the 1990s, which left us with no viable secondary school for some time in the 90s, which caused me to go to Northcote High and make many new friends over there. But just like previous generations, Speaker, as a local member now for Pascoe Vale, Coburg and Brunswick West, I remain an absolutely staunch advocate to want to continue welcoming new generations of communities to my electorate, and also giving young people the same chance that previous generations had as well, to buy a home in our electorate that is close to family. My wife and I, when it came time for us to buy a home, we bought off the plan in Pascoe Vale, and it's still our family home now, and it was thanks to the doubling of the first home buyer stimulus by the Rudd government that allowed us to get in the housing market then. So whether it's immigration, whether it's housing, whether it's jobs, I'm absolutely committed to doing everything I can to support future generations have the same opportunity, and that's why I stand with multicultural communities all over. Regardless of where you're from, everyone is welcome in Victoria, and that's why I stand with our First Nations communities as well. That's why I support our approach through voice, treaty and truth. That's why I support the apology that was put today. And I'm very disappointed, as I was saying, to conclude, Speaker, in the approach of the opposition, who have opposed voice, treaty and truth. They've opposed treaty in this state, yet at the same time today they were at the front, part of the smoking ceremony, part of the formalities. They had the hide to show their face there. They had their hide to come in here and vote against the apology, and then they supported. Then they had...
Nepean has a point of order, member for Pascoe Vale.
I was quite enjoying the member for Pascoe Vale giving me a history of his family.
What's your point of order, member for Nepean?
Relevance, Speaker.
Yeah, I ask the member for Pascoe Vale to come back to the motion.
Thank you, Speaker. I'll conclude in saying that I support multicultural communities, I support our First Nations communities, and unlike the Liberals, who oppose treaty, but they support the tuna sandwiches in Queen's Hall, I stand with all of our communities.
Member for Pascoe Vale will resume his seat.